Hi, I'm Kim Murphy from Crofton Yoga and Wellness, and today I'm so excited to be here with my dear friend, Pam Blum. And Pam is going to be helping us expand our series on the 6 movements of the spine with a little bit of elongation, how we can do this on the floor. We can do it in an inversion, standing, and in a chair. Now, if you really enjoy this video, I encourage you to come check out our Pilates Yoga Fusion class with Pam on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. here in the studio. All right, Pam. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing today.
Yay, thanks Kim. So a few weeks ago you had that wonderful e-news on the obvious movements of the spine, the 6 movements, which is flexion, extension, side bending, and rotation. So I thought it would be really helpful to have what's a lesser, more nuanced is axial elongation, which is possibly the most important movement of the spine. In fact, you even referred to it before you went into the twisting, because we always encourage everyone to lengthen their spine before they twist, which is healthy for many reasons. For the, alignment, besides the way that our body moves, especially breath, right? And I always think of it as like screwing your head on right, because this happens over a period of time, especially sitting. So I thought it'd be helpful to go through a progression of first lying flat on your back. Okay. So I'll talk you through. Is that good?
Yeah.
And when you're flat on your back, you can do something simple. This is so helpful for when you just feel exhausted. It's called decompression. So left arm stays at your sides, or let's say right, since Kim's left side is showing. Her right arm's going to relax, her right knee bends, and just leaving her left leg long, and then stretch her left arm up overhead. And not really active here, this is passive, which is the beauty of it. And doesn't that feel kind of spacious?
It does. It feels nice.
So if your arm doesn't touch the floor, some people need, a little wider position here. So if your shoulder doesn't feel good, it's fine to have your arm out at the side, anywhere where it's really relaxed. You don't want the arm like hanging in space. This is really literally to decompress the side. 3 to 5 breaths. It is surprising how really effective and simple. So this is passive decompression, and of course I would do that on both sides. To decompress your spine on your belly, you roll over prone, and this is more active. So when the legs are reached out nice and long and your arms up overhead, it's kind of the same thing. It's believed that our spine is the most spacious in the morning after we get up out of bed. Hopefully you've had a good night's sleep. Because our discs are all fluffed up, overnight, they absorb, they go through this process of resorption and absorbing all the fluids and the tissues around them. So when you take yourself out of vertical gravity through the day for just a few moments, you'd be shocked at how lively, how vitalizing it can feel. So this is more active. You're out of vertical gravity. You're trying to decompress your spine. And Kim crawls her fingers forward. This is a principle that is in both Pilates and yoga, is opposition. So she's reaching her fingers forward, tucking her toes under, and pressing her heels back. How does that feel, Kim?
Good.
Especially with her face straight down there. So she's actively now helping to kind of pull her pelvis away from her rib cage. And hopefully, again, you can adjust your arms. If it doesn't feel good in your shoulders, you could have them a little wider. So that's a more active prone out of vertical gravity. Now let's use gravity to decompress the spine. So coming up into table, into all fours. And I'm going to ask Kim to go into down dog. Yeah, so she'll tuck her toes, reach her hips up and back, which I bet you've never done down dog before, have you? Ever. It's one of those go-to poses that I think feels amazing for many reasons. Obviously a big stretch here through the backside, great for upper body weight bearing, but our purpose today is to look at it on its effects of the spine. So Kim's got a beautiful hip hinge here, and that's what you're looking for, is to fold at your hips and reach your sitting bones or your tailbone away from the crown of your head. This is opposition. Again, she's pretty active here, pressing hands down. We could talk more about shoulders, but again, let's just look at your spine. You're trying to reach the tip of your head away from your tailbone. How does that feel?
Excellent.
Yeah? Feel like you're going to get taller when you walk out of here? And then forward fold, which is another fan favorite. Feet to hands, hands to feet, whatever feels good. Typically about a hand's width in between your feet, maybe a little wider if you like. But always be certain your knees are in line with your toes, all of that, so that your pelvis can fold over. And now she's passive again. That probably feels amazing, huh? Especially the weight of her noggin. Oh, it's a big old head. The bowling ball, it's so nice in Mother Nature to put that on top of her spine so that when we tip the bowl of the pelvis over and let the weight of your head kind of help to decompress your spine. Just for a few breaths, again, feels pretty amazing. Then you take all of that decompression elongation to a standing position. That was a nice lift, good unhinging. So mountain pose, one of the most fundamental movements in yoga. And Kim can even talk about mountain pose, yeah?
Yeah, we want to line everything up. So we're looking to get our feet again 1 to 2 fist distance and bring our knees on top of the ankles as we spread the weight out equally through the feet. Open those toes. And then draw the hips into that neutral position where we're drawing pubic bone and tailbone toward one another. And then I want to try to get my ribs over top of my pelvis and the shoulders back and down. And again, this bowling ball noggin, trying to get the ears on top of the shoulders here. And this is very active. It may look like I'm just standing here, but I'm trying to really find that alignment.
You know what, I think, Kim, that's what we love so much about watching performers, right? Dancers or athletes, ice skaters, is that uplifted feeling. So this can be like a bioenergetic uplift to really just think this is a powerful press point. We use this in yoga a lot, right? This is one of the pranakriya touch points, reaching into the crown of your head and feeling that opposition again of rooting down into your feet and rising up. Typically, when you get those two in line, or two actions, everything in the middle kind of lines up. Then muscles can be at their natural resting length. Nobody's angry because they're overworking, because they're holding our head up, or our chest is in collapse, therefore we can breathe. It's a beautiful thing, and it's kind of simple and incredibly powerful.
And it gives you a sense of confidence too.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. Because you know that energy's flowing, right?
Exactly.
So seated, I'm going to turn the chair this way. Is that okay, Kim?
Perfect.
So seated is the most compressive on the spine. If available, it's actually best to be active because you are in vertical gravity, and it does take a little bit of action to rise up against vertical gravity. Kim's sitting right on top of her sitting bones. Her pelvis is neutral. Show a posterior tilt, Kim, where people normally go, where they sink. Yes.
Yeah.
So normally we sit behind, over time. She's exaggerating a little bit, but maybe not. That happens, right? We tend to sort of sink into our hips. I always feel like your sitting bones are your feet when you're not standing. So you want to stand, literally stand out of your hips. Usually it's easier to do that on the edge of the chair. So this sacrum, the lumbar spine, is most vertical. That is not healthy to be sitting with your lumbar spine in flexion. It's meant to bear weight, not to curve and sink into. Spinal flexion is usually not helpful, especially chronic over time. So again, crown of the head, stretching up. So I think that is just some seeds to plant in terms of how to decompress in a face-up position, in a passive way, actively, face down, taking that decompression to a little bit of weight bearing, using gravity and down dog and forward fold, and taking it to standing and sitting, because this axial elongation is probably the most important aspect of your spine health, is keep the curves. They're your natural curves. It's your autograph. So get to know them and own them.
And easy to do, accessible to all of us.
Indeed.
Yeah. So thank you for joining me today, Pam.
Absolutely.
And thank you for watching. Go out and make it a great day on purpose. Bye. To share just a little bit more on our series of lengthening the spine, the next time you're in the studio, take a peek at our wall next to the bulletin board in the hallway with our lovely poster about don't sit, just sit there. I can't back up far enough to get the full poster in the screen, but look at the compression in the spine. This is exactly what Pam and I were talking about. We want to create that length and undo all the effects of sitting.